Hi everyone, it's me Marty, and this is my wife
Marilyn.
And this is Marty's Ramblings. And today it's going to be like a little questionnaire video, and my wife is going to ask some questions of me.
Well, we're sitting here in Tyler, Texas, waiting for a door. It's been a couple hours, so we're trying to figure out what to do. So I'm gonna ask Marty some questions because kind of just getting to know his life on the truck. So
okay, so this, what was it? I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say? Oh, I haven't seen the questions, so it's gonna be kind of fun because I'll be surprised at the questions, and then yeah. So
okay, what is the most enjoyable part about trucking?
What is the most enjoyable part about trucking? I'm probably gonna have a story with each answer, just so you know, because I ramble. Y'all know that. Well, a bunch of things. I like being my own boss. I like being on the road, seeing the country. I like driving. I like doing, working hard and the accomplishment of a job well done. Getting to load places. Singing and listening to music, and while I'm driving, meeting new people. One of my all-time favorite things probably is hot coffee, good coffee, especially in the morning.
Okay.
Especially a cool morning.
What is the most difficult thing about trucking?
The most difficult thing? Well, the winters are getting harder and harder on me as I get older. I don't like driving in ice and snow, and as I get older, it's getting harder and harder on my heart. And, traffic and other drivers that aren't driving well, that's kind of hard. Waiting to get loaded when it takes a long time, waiting to get unloaded when it takes a long time. I think the worst part, the hardest part, is when I'm doing really good. I'm making good time, and I'm driving careful, and I'm doing a good job, and I'm managing my time well. But then I have to wait to get unloaded or loaded, because somebody else messed up or they're behind or whatever. That just happens, but that's kind of frustrating when you do really good all day or all week, and then you have to sit to wait. That's kind of a challenge. But
what is the best memory that you can think of having?
What do you mean, just in truck driving?
I'm trucking.
I don't know. I mean, the best memories are when I have family with you, when you come with, my wife, and when my kids come with. My friend Chad, he went with me on one trip to California one time, a childhood friend. We're still friends. My dad went with me on 3 or 4 trips. That was really neat because we got closer than ever, I think, just having my dad with, talking and seeing the country and stuff. So taking family and friends. But there's been different times when it was just me. One time I was in Texas down here, and I don't even remember. I was by Nacogdoches, and I got unloaded, and then I was going somewhere else to reload the next morning. And I was feeling bad because it was a Wednesday evening. I was wishing I was home and could go to church on Wednesday night. And I was saying, oh, maybe I can find a church just to go to their service on the road. So I was going on the road, and I seen that it was a big Baptist church or something. And I turned. I don't remember the town now. Do you remember? It was started with a G. Like Gilman or something. It was something G. It was north of Nacogdoches, Texas. Anyway, I turned into this church, and then I realized, oh, I can't get in the parking lot. It was too narrow for my big truck. So I stayed on that road, which is a road that kind of went back in the woods. And I kept going back in there, and I thought, well, I got to get off this road. And I'm hoping it would come. It eventually came back out to the town. But before that, I came to this tiny little white church. And I just pretty much stopped in the middle of the road. People could still go around me, but there was no shoulder, so I pretty much stopped in the middle of the road. And I, went over to ask them if this road keeps going, can I get out? And it was a little church, a wonderful little congregation of people, and they were actually having a Bible study, and they said, yeah, if you keep going, it'll go out of town. And I said, oh, okay, I was just looking for a church, I just wanted to join. And they said, well, you can join us if you want. So I stayed there and actually just joined them in their Bible study. And it was so neat. I hung out for a while and then talked to them. And then when I was done, I got in my truck, and they all came out into the grass, onto the porch of the church, and they were waving me goodbye, and it was neat. And then I actually contacted the pastor when I got home and mailed them a box of my little wood crafts, Jesus words and crosses and different things, and kept in contact for a while. But that was really neat. Just a special, neat group of people. Wonderful. Yeah, so that was a neat memory.
That was a neat thing.
Yeah, there's been other times that God really did amazing things in bad storms and weather, and but yeah. So there's other ones. She's rushing me along here. Okay.
No, because some of these questions, they kind of are alike, so they might cross each other.
Oh, okay, okay.
So that's why I was like,
that was one of the highlights, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. And your worst memory? Some that was the worst.
Worst memory on the road?
And this might coincide with another question.
Let's see. Worst memory on the road. I mean, like I said, there was times when there was big snowstorms and bad weather, and God got me through it. It ended up good. The worst time, or the worst thing, well, probably when my first wife Yvonne called and said she had cancer. I was on the road driving. That was hard to take that, and I was going away from home, so I had to be out another 2-3 days before I could get home. That was difficult. I've seen some really bad accidents and big pileups, and I wasn't involved in them, but I've seen them, and just praying for all the people and just saw the tragedy there. Times when I miss things at home with family. I mean, I always try to make most of my time when I'm home, with my wife and kids and grandkids and friends and everything. But can you just stop it? Yeah, I don't know. I still missed out on things, trucking, especially when the kids were little, but there's a few holidays when I was away from home. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, missing out on things was kind of hard sometimes, but I'm gonna pause it right here, just like. Okay, sorry about that. So that was number 3. I thought you said that was 4 or 3.
Yeah, that was 4.
That last question was 4?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So number 5 now? Okay.
Yeah. The best food you have eaten out.
Best food on the road. Well, there's been a couple of different ones. I think one time I was going, I don't know what road or highway I was on, Interstate 75, I think, coming up through Kentucky. And there was a truck stop, and I stopped there, and I was hungry, so I was going to get something to go to see while I was driving. And there was a whole bunch of people in a line, and there was a restaurant in the truck stop. And so I went over, and I asked them, what's the big line for? And they said, catfish. They have really good catfish in Kentucky. So I got some, and big, huge chunks, and it wasn't even really a lot of batter. It was just really good. And so I got in the truck and trucking down the road, and oh, it was so good. I was like, it was the best fish in the world. That was really, really good. But been a couple others. And I am actually writing them in my life story. I'm putting different things in, anyway. But I'm starting to stop different places and eat. I haven't really eaten out too much, but I'm trying to. Well, before the whole virus thing, I started to, and I'd like to again actually go into little cafes and old little truck stops and stuff. But anyway, there's been a couple. There was a little cafe in Wyoming. And just a little, I think it was a cowboy cafe or something, and I pulled in there. I think I did a video of it actually. And I got I don't know, it was a big cheeseburger or something with green chili, I think it was. That was really good. And then there's a little cafe out in the middle of the Nevada desert, and I got a Philly. I've never had one of those before, and that was so good. Yeah, the little mom and pop truck stops and cafes, they have the best food. And so yeah, there's been different things. Yeah.
What is the worst food that you've tasted on the road?
The worst food, I don't know if there's been any worse foods. I mean, again, I don't...
We both really like food, so...
Yeah, I like everything but mushrooms, really. I mean, I eat, you know, things in the truck stop, a lot of things to go. In my truck, I've always eaten cold food out of a can for years. Sardines, tuna, ravioli kind of things. And now I have a microwave, so I actually cook rice and soup. But what I've eaten on the road and truck stops, nothing really that I can remember. I do remember the Sacramento truck stop. I think there's only one there, the 49er or whatever. I stopped there probably 10 years ago, and I got a big bowl of soup, and it looked really good. I was really hungry, and it was a cold day, and I took one bite, and it tasted so good, and it looked so good. But then I went for my second bite, and there was a hair in the soup, and I was done. I just have a thing with hair and food. I was done, so I didn't finish the rest of it. So
That would be the worst.
It ruined a good bowl of soup. So the soup was good. It was the hair that wasn't good.
Yeah, and it's hard when they have it out where you get your own. They can't control that.
Yeah, well, it was served to me, but yeah, and that just happens sometimes. But what number are we on?
We're on 7 now. Funniest thing that has ever happened to you?
Funniest thing on the road? Gosh. I mean, I've been trucking for close to 20 years now. It's hard to remember all the things. The funniest thing, I don't know. I started, the last year, I started making YouTube videos on the roads. There's all kinds of funny, weird things. One of the funniest things, my dad was with, we were down in Iowa. We were in southeast Iowa. And we got unloaded, and then we were going to get a reload, but we weren't going to reload till the next day, and we only had a couple hours to drive, or 3 hours to drive, I think it was. And we came out and we started heading down the highway. We drove almost 2 hours and realized we were going the wrong direction.
Oh, no.
And we both started laughing so hard, and then we turned around the other direction, and then yeah, there was a really good restaurant we ended up going to. We might not have seen. So we found a good little cafe to have dinner at, and we just laughed so hard. And we had lots of time to kill, but yeah, it was a good hour and a half, 2 hours. We went out of the way, the wrong direction. That was probably one of the funniest.
Well, and the scariest thing. So that kind of goes along with the
scariest.
Most harrowing.
Well, you know, when I first started trucking, going down mountains was really scary, and using your air brakes and trying to slow down, going down Donner Pass to Sacramento. Now it's nothing. I can do it with my eyes closed, but and then
let's not.
Yeah, then in ice and snow, going down mountains was really it's still scary. That's just a hard thing. You just gotta pray a lot. You can't really hit your brakes when it's icy and snow. But one of the scariest was the one I told you about the other day. I was like, I think it was by Waterloo, Iowa, going south on, what is it there? What is that? 381 or 380 or 280? I think it's 380. Anyway, from Waterloo, Iowa to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's only like an hour and a half, something like that. But it was a really bad snowstorm. There was like a foot of snow on the highway. Blizzard, you could barely see, and it was nighttime. I could barely see the road. I was crawling along with my flashers on. I could look on the sides of the road. I could see trucks and cars in the ditches with flashing lights and emergency vehicles. It was a nightmare, and I was praying. I was almost crying. And that was good 12, 13 years ago. But I prayed, and all of a sudden I got to the truck stop by Cedar Rapids, or right before it, And I got in, I got a parking spot for the night, and the next day it was sunny and the roads were clear, but that was scary. But it was God who got me through it.
Your favorite spot in the United States that you've been to?
Well, I have a bunch of different ones. I'd probably have to say Donner Pass. So when you're on I-80 going from Nevada to California, at Reno, Nevada, you go up the mountains to into the Sierra Nevada mountains, and at the top is Donner Pass, where Donner Lake is, and Truckee, California is up there, and then you go down the mountain to Sacramento. So it's just really pretty up there. It's really pretty in the wintertime, but it can be icy and snowy, but it's really pretty with the snow and the pines and the mountains. And but I've done a couple videos, about 10 videos ago or whatever I made the videos. I had time to stop there for overnight going to California, and then coming back I stopped for a couple hours and went on that hike. Just absolutely beautiful up there. Donner Pass is probably, I mean, there's some other places around the country, and different mountain passes and by lakes or oceans, and but Donner Pass is probably one of my favorites.
How many states have you been to?
Well, it's easier to, okay,
so
how many?
You can't go to Alaska or Hawaii, so
It's probably easier to figure out how many I haven't, and then, okay, yeah. Is there 50 or 52? I always forget it. One's how many cards are in a deck, and one is how many states. It must be 50. There's 52 cards in the deck, I think, and 50 states, right? I think, yeah, I think it was 50. Okay, so, honey, it's 50. Okay, so, so if you want to help me do the math, I'm horrible at math. So, okay, so I haven't been to Alaska and Hawaii. I can't go to Hawaii in a truck. So that's 2. What's the northeast states? Well, okay,
Maine.
Those 2 and Oregon. So what are the northeast states? Maine, Massachusetts,
New
Hampshire, Connecticut, Vermont, Rhode Island, New York. Is that all the northeast states? That corner?
And then you have New Jersey, but you went to New Jersey.
I think that's it. I think that's all of the northeast corner that I haven't been to. So Alaska, Hawaii, Oregon. Oregon's the only one in the far west. And then those, so 10. So I've been to 40. And there's 10 I haven't been to.
That's cool.
Was that the last question?
Traveling man. Yes, it was.
So there you are. Not a real long video, about 18, 19 minutes. You got a bonus question for me? Something weird or?
I'm not very good at knowing questions.
Just put you on the spot for one last question.
Your favorite truck you've ever driven?
Well, this is a 2018 Freightliner. I've had a lot of Freightliners and Internationals. I had one Peterbilt that was really nice. I've had 3 or 4 Kenworth that were really nice. I had I think it was a 2014 Kenworth 660, I think it was. That was probably my nicest one. I think that was, what was it? Bearbuilt? Was it Bearbuilt? Yeah, I think that was probably my nicest one. So 2014 or 2015 Kenworth 660.
This is really nice. It's like its own camper.
Yeah, the way they make trucks nowadays is like a camper. I mean, I have microwave, and TV, and refrigerator, nice bunk. I built shelves in here. There's cupboards. It's comfortable. They make them comfortable for the truck driver and stuff. So, yeah. So yeah, is that it? Okay, so let's say goodbye here. I'll sign off.
Bye.
So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and like and share and comment, and yeah, seek God and cherish every day and help others to just make the best of every day, and watch Sunshine Legacy, the YouTube channel. That's my wonderful wife's channel, and she's only got one video. No, she has 2 videos on there, so she's starting to do more, and hers is encouraging, inspiring, and helping people to know God. So check out her channel and subscribe. Sorry, burp.
I really appreciate that Marty encourages everybody and has such of a good attitude. That's amazing.
I don't know.
Even in the negativity, like sitting here for hours waiting for the door. So.
It's all God. I give him all the glory. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. This is Marty. What?
Marilyn.
Have a wonderful day.